example, I've been speaking to a European bank that first step was netbox integrations driven by their automation team. They know they need to move fast with automation, so they needed their source of truth, couldn't trust the CMDB. So they've done something in one of these repositories. But the next step is the network assurance into CMDB and making sure there's true up between these systems. And then they can start leveraging the next level up of reporting based on this clean data to start tackling the operational level trust issues, the ideas of tribal knowledge. And then we start seeing the leadership programs, SD-WAN migration, cloud migration, that in the past may have had a 6-month window for due diligence, data collection, documentation, analyzing, and like, can we trust the service provider? Is that consultant really telling us the truth? All of that stuff disappears because they've built this foundational integration. What I'm going to hand to Seb to show the demo of is one piece of the picture. It's how do you take this accurate data? How do you put it into ServiceNow within the CMDB? But all of these topics that we've discussed, they're addressable steadily over time by working with the right partners to build the right roadmap and piecemeal it so you can eat the elephant one bite at a time. So, Seb, I'll hand over to you and you can show how to bite an elephant one bite at a time. No pressure.
You better be hungry then. What I'm going to use is one demo environment that we have. So it's a virtual lab. What you can see in here in this screen, so it's one of the snapshots. So in this situation, we've got two. You've got one that was the same network before a change and the one that you have performed after a change. So one quick way where maybe you want to see from the network what has changed between those two snapshots, we can use the comparison of the diagram. So what this would highlight is things that, so what we're seeing in red is things that were not present before. So in that change, and the key part I want to focus on is the fact that two devices were not present before. And now that we've done the new snapshot, we can see that they've been added to the network. So that's kind of the main part where we've got the network change. There is always changes happening. And now what happens is we've added new devices. And now there is the question where someone has done that network change. Has it been reflected to the CMDB correctly? And this is where we're going to look at it from this extension that we have that kind of helps doing the synchronization with ServiceNow. And I also have, if I can find it, yeah, I've got an instance of ServiceNow in here where I've already got a number of devices, and this would be the state of my CMDB at a given moment in time. So now that we've got the app running, I just need to synchronize it, and for that I should remember me partially. So now the only thing that I'm doing with this extension is I'm synchronizing it with my ServiceNow instance, and on the other side, because I've run it from IP Fabric, is already aware of the snapshot that I have, which each snapshot again is a picture of the network. So the first run that we're going to do in terms of doing the synchronization is I just want to say to compare what we have in the new snapshot, so the one that we've done after the change. And I'm going to do it as a dry run because I don't want to write anything to ServiceNow at the moment. And it's just going to be, compare the inventory that we have in IP Fabric, so things that we've discovered from the network devices, and show me the comparison between what we have already in ServiceNow. And now what you're already able to see in here is that we've got a number of differences that we spotted, and we can go through the detail, but we've got 3 devices that IP Fabric has seen, which are not present in ServiceNow, 5 in ServiceNow, but not in IP Fabric, and 4 differences. So I could drill down, find more detail, and I'm going to focus especially on one in here where it's a common mistake that unfortunately I've seen many times before, and we'll look into it. But this is the one where we're saying we found this device and it's not present in ServiceNow, plus the 2 that we know we've added after the change. So now we've got 3 new devices that we're going to push into ServiceNow. Similarly, you can get more detail of the other way around, where maybe you've got devices that are present in your CMDB, so in that case ServiceNow, but maybe they're not reachable, so IP Fabric doesn't see them. Today I'm not going to focus too much on that. And this one where what is different. So we know that this device was present before and after, but for example, you can see what is different in this one is the login IP, where that was referenced in ServiceNow. But IP Fabric has done the discovery in the new snapshot, and we see that the information we have is different from the information we have in ServiceNow. So in that case, this is going to be overwritten, and we're going to update in ServiceNow. So now that we've done that, I'm just going to push the change, and then we'll move to ServiceNow to see what information we can see in that CMDB. That might take a few seconds. Okay, so now I had 97 devices. I know this one takes a few extra seconds to get the new devices, and now I've got a few more devices. The one I wanted to look at, and we see it right there, is that device where we could see that it was present already, even though it was one that IP Fabric had and was going to add because we couldn't see it in ServiceNow. And I've made it kind of like fairly obvious maybe in here for the eyes that are used to work with the CMDB, and we all know that there is a typo. Someone's going to confuse the 0 and the O, which may not seem like much, but when you're starting to work with a CMDB, that serial number becomes critical because it's the unique ID for your device. Now, the impact for that is if you've got the wrong serial number, your maintenance contract may not correctly reflect what you're paying the maintenance for, which means potentially you're not covering the devices that you have. And then it's probably going to cause some sort of issues later when you've got a problem with the device, you need to do an RMA. So in that situation, someone has entered the one with the four O's, where the correct one was the one with the zeros. So the only difference we see in here is the date, where now this one is no longer the most recent, where the correct one is this one. So in that situation as well, what's important with the current extension, IP Fabric is not going to remove entries from the CMDB because that needs to follow a correct process, and the goal is not to decommission or remove something from that CMDB, but to have now the accurate information in your CMDB. The other thing that we wanted to show in a few minutes we've got left is what we were showing earlier. If I go back to the diagram, it's representing relationship between devices, where in ServiceNow, and you'll find the same in other CMDBs, you want to know that if there is an impact or a change affecting one device, you'd like to understand what's the chain, what else is going to be affected by that change.